Welcome to this special episode of Give Voice to Your Vision. I am so excited to bring these profitable presence expert panels to you. This is our third and final panel in this series, and we have an amazing group of experienced entrepreneurs here to share their experience, what's worked, what hasn't worked, around being highly visible in a way that actually grows their business, increases their impact and their reach, and creates that profitable presence. So you guys, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to ask you guys to introduce yourself. And can we start with you, Mark? Tell us who you are, what you do.
My name is Mark Porteous, also known as the Soul Connector. My wife and I run a business together called the Soul Affiliate Alliance. We're also the parents of twins that just turned 15 yesterday. And my other partner, David Ricklin, and I run something called the Joint Venture Directory together.
Awesome. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Sonia, will you say hi and tell us who you are and what you do?
Hello, my name is Sonia Nagy, and I am a soul alignment and money coach. And I help individuals have that deeper connection within themselves so that they can see their blind spots and bring that visibility into their self first and then out into the world.
Awesome. So glad you're here. Thanks for being a part of it. Debbie, will you introduce yourself, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Debbie White. I'm the founder of Clarity Wins Clients, and I help experts really own their difference so you can stand out with clear messaging to attract the clients you're here to serve.
Yay, Debbie. Welcome, Julia. We're just doing a quick intro. Carrie's next, and then you.
Hi, yes, I'm Carrie Kaisik, and I help people. I'm a heart awakening master, and I really help people connect with their heart, because a lot of people are in business. Like, I've worked with a lot of people they have so much fear and anxiety around that, and so I really help them connect with their heart so they can be more present and approach their business from a heart-centered perspective.
I love it. So you guys picking up a theme here. We've got soul, we've got clarity, we've got heart, we've got inside out marketing. So we're going to dig into what does that have to do with a profitable presence, right? These guys know what they're talking about on a whole nother level. Julia, will you say hi and tell us who you are and what you do?
Hi, I'm Julia Steggy, the Magical Marketer, and I help multi-passionate soul-led entrepreneurs to clarify and express their purpose through their marketing, like their websites and their online presence and how they talk, so that they're expressing their essence in a way that attracts people who are aligned with them on that level.
Yeah, baby. All right, you guys, I'm so glad that you're here. For my guests, we have a private chat. I'm going to share a question, top of mind question on my favorite topic: profitable presence, profitable presence, powerful presence, prosperous presence. And then I'll ask each of you to share your answer in response to that and your wisdom with the audience. And then we'll hop to the next juicy question. I have 3 juicy questions planned for you. So let me put our what we're doing here on our banner and post that first question for you in the chat. We'll start with you, Mark. My question is, let me grab it. What does profitable presence mean to you, and how has that evolved this year for you and your business?
I love, again, the positioning. This is a fantastic panel to be on. I'm grateful to be here. And the idea of profitable, I'm glad I get to go first because I think a lot of people resonate with this. Really depends on your perspective. But to me, it's an ROI. How do you get a return on your investment? That investment is your time, your money. Like, you don't want to show up on stages where your audience is not. So you want to make sure that you're speaking to the right audience, and the profit from that investment should look financial. You should be able to measure it, and that can be a long tail or a short tail. So it's hard to measure just with profit, but you can tell sometimes by alignment, by being on stages where they energize you, where you get positive feedback. So the profit can look like money, and that's an important piece of it because that helps to help your purpose prosper. But if can also look a lot of other ways. So you want to really know what your metrics are for whether an event visibility is prosperous for you or not. Being on the right podcast, sometimes you'll get just burned out trying to be on all the stages all the time.
Mm-hmm. Great insight. Thank you for sharing that. I was very intentional about this word profitable. So many of us in the heart space don't want it to be about the money. So I love how you're expanding that definition. Thanks, Mark. It's good to have you here. How about you, Sonia? What does profitable presence mean to you, and how has it evolved in your business this year?
So this is a loaded question because I hear profit in there as well. So my first career was income tax and accounting, and so all about the numbers and metrics. And I absolutely agree with what Mark is saying. We have to keep our eye on the ball and what is moving us forward financially. And I'm going to take it into for me, my profitable presence is actually when I am transparent, which is almost as if I go invisible with my client. It is all about them. Mm-hmm. And helping them to, through my transparency, they get to see their highest truth, and I get to hold the space for that to open up so that they can be profitable, because that's what a lot of people are coming to me for, is to help them resolve those problems within themselves, to help them see what they're not able to see on their own, and bring that presence into the world.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
I love that. Transparency is one of my favorite words. I switched from authenticity to transparency a few years ago. And I think that with all of the AI and all the things that are happening in the world right now, and how fast everything's going, and the blah, 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 that having the ability to be transparent, especially in this transformation space, is a skill. Right? We're not necessarily led to operate that way, but that it's the superpower for credibility, trust, likability. And those are the things that help the right people resonate with us and buy, right? I love that. Good word. Debbie, how about you? What does profitable presence mean to you these days, and how has it evolved in your business this last year?
Yeah, this is such a good question. I really see this as incorporating both all together. When we are fully able to express our value to the very people that we're here to work with quickly, and feel it, like what I say, like deep in your bones, you become a profitable presence. You just, it's a beingness. And I will say this affected me, and it's interesting because Mark is here. I'm just going to get really real. I experienced this for myself at Mark's incredible, everyone should go, event.
Nice.
I have no idea I'm saying this, the Soulful Leadership Retreat in Orlando in February. And it was really a sense of, we all have an amazing well of expertise. And when we realize it's not about us and our ego, and we can really appreciate that gift, and then we know who we're here to serve, and we can articulate that very clearly. It allows you to what I call own your different, in a way that I experienced that for myself. And it's like all the rubbish, all the BS just kind of went aside. And it was like, this is what I'm here to do. And this is so amazing. And when we're able to do that, everything starts opening up. And I think in this space, we talk about heart-centered and alignment. I think people get that. But that's what clarity does. And it's really stepping into where you're really supposed to be, who you're really supposed to actually become. And you become that profitable presence.
I love that. Just by showing up with all of who you are is what we say over here, right? And how do you do that? That takes some skills. Sometimes it takes some facilitation. You guys are helping, people to do that. And that, I often quote Ralph Waldo Emerson as one of my muses. He speaks to me in my dreams, and he said, "Who you are speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying." And we get so caught up, especially when there's vulnerability around being visible, in like saying it right, or we think we're not saying it right to make money. So beautiful. Who are you becoming? How can, who you are is part of your brand, your message, your promise in some ways, right? Beautiful. Yes. Love that, Debbie. Thank you so much. How about you, Carrie? What does profitable presence mean to you, and how has it evolved in your business this year?
Yes, well, very much what was just said. It means being deeply in tune with who you are and what you do. So when you walk in a room, like you said, your energy speaks before you do. So
That's
I
right.
really help people come into alignment. Like I hold that beautiful, compassionate space because I know when I was in the workforce, I was first one at work, the last one to leave. I always brought work home. I was always pushing, struggling,
Right.
forcing. And I was playing a role, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled, and I was in chronic pain. It was terrible. And so when you take that step back and you actually come into that space of your heart, that's where you start to attract those synchronicities, those people. And then like everything changed for me when I did that. So, it's just been a beautiful, beautiful journey. And so I help people to come into that space and
Awesome.
hold that space. Yeah.
Yeah, live into it, right? That we're in this
Yeah.
expansion container. We never stop expanding. And so there's always that edge of expression and expansion is what I love to talk about. So that's great. Thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Julia, what does profitable presence mean to you?
Well, to me, I think it means kind of standing out, even when it's hard. I'm thinking about like many years ago when I would go to like workshops in person, and generally would just be shy in a way, but would stand up and just say something that was pretty much the opposite of what everyone else was saying. And that's kind of one of my ways. I feel like the things that, in terms of visibility, that are important now have always been important ever since I even started doing marketing for my own business, like, I don't know, a million years ago. It's like 30 years ago. I think it might be more than 30 years ago. I don't know. I don't want to think about it. But, but like this sense of being real. So people are talking about it in terms of authenticity, in terms of, what did you say?
Transparency, Sonia said.
Transparency, right. And just actually being real, or just being yourself without so much of the polish. And we go to places where they kind of tell you, oh, you shouldn't be that, like, wait, that's who I am. Oh no, you shouldn't be that. It's really hard to be that anyway. The profit comes in when the person who sees you being you really feels it, and they're like, oh, I need to connect to that person, and they can't always explain why it is that they need to, but like your truth, I find that sometimes the truth is also the funniest thing to say. So it turns out you're not even trying to be funny, but it is funny actually to tell the truth in a situation where nobody else is. I've discovered that
it can be very surprising. Yeah.
And people are like, ooh, they laugh. They have a little nervous laugh because you're telling the truth. So the truth, that's another thing. The truth, they say the truth will set you free. The truth is always actually outstanding. It's something that it stands out naturally.
Yeah. In my world, we talk about frequency, and I say it rings true. It's like that tuning fork.
Rings true. And like that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too.
Awesome. Thank you. Beautiful. So you guys, here's the next question. I'm going to go one more around in that same order, Mark. What internal shift, current, past, present, or future, has helped you in your business and or your clients go from being more visible, I need to be more visible, to actually being more profitable?
It goes back to echoing a word that I've been hearing a lot, is around alignment.
Yes.
Which is also one of my core values. My work with my divine coordinates. I am divine purpose aligned through self-worth and recognition. So alignment is a huge piece. And the alignment does two things. One, it means that you're getting in front of the right audience. So that makes it more profitable. And by being more in alignment, you realize that it's not just about the visibility. When you're chasing the visibility, is more around ego, or even if it's just saying I'm getting visible so that I can make money, instead of you just say that the profitability, like what does profitability mean, going back to all these definitions we had earlier.
Beautiful.
And how making all of your decisions in alignment with that.
Yes.
So does this help me be more profitable instead of more visible? The visibility will come naturally if you're focused on the profitability.
I love that. And speaking about alignment with the right audience, alignment with the words you're saying, alignment with your value, alignment with how you're expressing and showing up. A lot of people, I work with people that are, really have a charge around being highly visible. I think many of us do at every level. We come up against that. And that alignment can really, kind of burn through some of that resistance. And when we're really not there, those layers and veils come between us. So I love that.
Speaking of layers and veils, I love what you and Sonia were saying about the difference between authenticity and transparency, where authentic means you're honest, but you can just not tell a lie and be authentic, but being completely transparent is like that next level of alignment.
I love that. There's an accessibility, and I think it's a superpower in this. I mean, like, there's a lot to risk by being highly visible, right? By being present online, right? By being you. We're all at some core level. There's a I'm not going to call it a wound, but there's a fear that's kind of hardwired until we heal it or work on it, that, if I am highly visible, it is not safe. So that ability to cultivate the courage, the clarity, the confidence, I like to alliterate, if you couldn't tell by the profitable presence power pack, that is a skill. It's a decision. It's a value, right? And when we can step into that, I like to say just past the edges of your comfort zone is where the magic is waiting, right? So there's a whole expansion thing happening there when we can really let those veils down. And I think the more jumping ahead 5 years, I think that transparency is going to be wildfire for our businesses and our expression and our expansion. And that the world is just so waking up right now that we have an opportunity and almost a responsibility and to show up big, right? And to do that.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, I like to, I'm a conduit. All right, so good. What internal shift, Sonia, helped you go from I'll be more visible to being more profitable? Or, internal or external? What did you do?
So the internal conversation and getting aligned, listening to my soul, not listening to the ego, not listening to the outside world, not listening even to the mentors that see it through their vision, through their lens. When you know your truth, and to listen more to your own internal guidance system that's huge. And to put more value on your soul aligned truth than what outside is, could possibly direct you. Because when you come from that truth, that authenticity, that transparency, people come to you, like Julia said, they don't even know why they come to you, but you become this natural magnet that just draws people to you because you're speaking truth, and we all resonate with that at a deep level. It goes beyond the mental. Yeah.
Was it Maya Angelou who said people remember how you make them feel, right? So good. I love that. Thank you. How about you, Debbie? What internal or external shift helped you go from being more, or helps your clients go, I know you've been doing this for a while, be more visible to being more profitable?
For me, it starts with purpose, which might be another way of saying alignment. But for me, and this is what I teach, I start everyone with purpose, because purpose helps us get out of ego. Purpose helps us with alignment. Purpose reminds us that we're here for something so much bigger than self. And so with purpose, it's like, oh my gosh, people need this. They need it now. They need that help. And if we can get out of the way, the visibility, the profit come and happen. And that's also not tamping down. Purpose helps me steer more towards the light I'm here to be than the fear that wants to hold me back from visibility. Beautiful. And also in doing that, of course, profitability will follow. And I'm all for tracking numbers, just like Mark said. I think it's really important to set realistic, goals, stretch goals, track where things are coming from, know what's happening. Numbers are an important part of this, but numbers don't actually drive me. Like I have a goal, but I know that things I can't even explain or expect if I'm making decisions from purpose and then just trusting in, okay, universe, where do you want me now? Okay, let's go. The doors open up. Everything is, like Mark was saying, it's in alignment. But for me, it really is getting so rooted in what I'm here to do. There's purpose, and then there's the value that we provide to our specific clients. We can't serve the world, but there's a certain slice of people that absolutely need what we have. And and that is alignment. When we're in alignment with them from our purpose, all of those things fall into place. And I think we're all saying the same thing in very different ways. It's really interesting to kind of hear I'd be so curious to hear how this is landing for people listening. But
I would love to know that as well. We have a couple people chiming in here. So if you're resonating, if you have questions, if you want to know more about these amazing people, we want you to comment. We want you to engage. We want to hear them, and we'll have time to jump in on those as they show up, or if you come back and catch the replay. We're here to. This is a conversation. Thanks, Debbie. So you reminding me, one of my favorite tools around helping people to be visible is, especially if there's a real charge, okay? Like that real, like paralyzing deer in the headlights, or a repetitive, recurring holding back. You're talking about purpose, right? That bigger vision, expanded vision is infinite, but expanded action is finite, right? And you're talking about how that can call you forward. And so one of my favorite tools to have people, practice, because in my world, visibility is a practice like martial arts or meditation. Depending on how charged it is, you may want to go to bat a little bit, right? And so, if even one person might benefit from you making that post, sending that email, doing that interview, doing that video, then are you willing to do it? Right. And I think that purpose is connected. Our calling is our compass, right? That's where we're headed. And it can also be our conundrum, right? It can drag us kicking and screaming. But when we can let that purpose be bigger, it is much easier to show up and, expand into that becoming you were talking about too earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, and if we can say, like, this isn't about Debbie, like, this is not a Debbie show. It's the movement. It's the bigger vision. I'm just trying to get it going, and to me, it's
like a tool of permission too.
It is a tool of permission. It's like, so if we can just get our ego out of the way, and it's not about you at all, like, nobody really cares about this. They care about, what am I here to help them do? That's all they like. Oh, then it's not about me. It's very freeing for people to just, it's easier for people to step out of the way and go, oh, I can do that. Okay. That works for me.
Yeah.
It works for me personally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I'll take it another layer further, that some are called to be a voice, be a face, right? And there's another level of vulnerability around that. And I think that there's a healing and a power and an opportunity, if that's you, right? When that's you, because it's even more charged. Like, who am I to say? Very loud right there. Awesome. Ed is sharing that this is especially valuable for coaches, consultants, mindset. Hi, Ed. Thanks for being a part of the conversation here. Carrie, you're up.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I know, like, everything is alignment for me, like aligning your heart. That's what I truly believe. When I battled with severe, debilitating scoliosis pain for 30 years of my life. And I mean, scoliosis, right, is a curvature of the spine, and it literally means a misalignment with life. So and then one day I was driving home from work, and I had a near-death experience, and like that woke me up to energy healing, and that brought all these new synchronicities into my life. I met people, and I became a Reiki master, and I learned all of this stuff. It was amazing, and I had 3 sessions, and now I've been pain-free for over a decade. So once I came into alignment with who I was and my truth, then everything shifted. And I mean, I'm telling, like, my spine, the pain, like it's just, I'm getting chills now. Like, that's how powerful alignment is, right? So that's what
and
I love.
And how powerful your story is, right? Like, that is our stories and what we have navigated, that's amazing, right? It's so powerful. I love that. Thank you for sharing. What is that? So talk to me about how has that shifted your purpose or your profit?
Yes. Well, once I started, I was no longer like hiding anymore. Once I cleared that fear, that resistance, and started stepping into my truth, then more ease and flow came, and I started attracting those clients that are meant to work with me. Because that becomes such a normal part of life. People don't realize how misaligned they are, right? It becomes your normal, all that stress, and so I help people to open up, and so it's been beautiful. Just more ease and more flow, and helping people, like not necessarily like profitability, you said, doesn't have to be money. Just, more joy, more happiness, right? It's more abundance and all sorts, health, well-being. So it's really helped to attract those people, and it's opened up so much in my life. So it's so powerful being fully present.
Yeah. And it's a practice, right?
Yes, it is.
Who else here has had some sort of a wake up moment? For me, it was a low bottom in my early 20s, 33 years ago yesterday, right? Anybody else have like a pivotal, like a relationship or a kind of an awakening moment that really helped call them forward into the work you're doing today? Just show of hands.
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. It's very takes what it takes. And I think a lot of people right now, I think that there's an acceleration. So people are having those moments and it can feel like you're a Martian. But for people who have already done, no offense to the Martians, if people who are having that kind of like, I can't keep doing it this way. I think COVID was a big wake up for a lot of people in that regard. To know what that contrast, what that resistance, what that experience can shoot forward. I think of it like a slingshot pulling back, and then when we can let go, it's that separation or that those challenges, opportunities. There are no problems, right? That can actually skyrocket or shoot us forward into more expression, more expansion, more joy. That's I think a message for everyone to hear. It's a balm for our human souls. So thanks for bringing that forward. Julia, what internal shift or external helped you go from I need to be more visible, or helps your clients? You've been doing this a long time. Help your clients go from being more visible to increasing profits.
For me, I've been such a rebel since I was so young that it's always been about what fulfills me, right?
Wonderful.
But the idea of profitable, that wasn't on the radar. It was like get by was on the radar for many years.
Just enough to get by. I relate to that.
Getting by, and so for me, the profitable part has really actually required that I pay attention to things that just don't naturally come to me, like the numbers, which I'll tell you, I remember it wasn't that long ago. It might have been almost 10 years ago where I had a friend sit with me on the phone while I looked at my numbers weeping. Like, even just like how much money had I spent on my programmer who didn't really, it turned out he wasn't doing anything because I didn't give him enough work and I wasn't paying attention. And here I was giving him $800 a month. And I'm like weeping. But
clarity tears.
But I had to learn how to do that. I'm still, resistant to that certain thing. I'm like, I'll look at the numbers now. I will look at my credit card, and so there is this bit of real life big girl panties or whatever you want to call it, where I really actually have to force myself to do these things. And sometimes it's to go to a specific class as well that, supposedly I don't need any more, training or whatever after all this. But sometimes I just have to be in that conversation where that people are at ease with, throwing out the numbers and things like that in order for me to know what is profitable and what is not. You know, because that's one of the things I also notice with my clients. Like if I say to them, have you looked at your website numbers? And they're like, I don't really know how to look at that, you know? And it's like, well, you know,
I spent $25,000 having it built, but I don't know if anybody's going there or if anybody's doing anything when they get there.
25,000 for sure. But it's a matter of, it's not, if it doesn't come naturally, what comes naturally is to do your work, to heal your people, to share, you know, your unique perspective. But to make that into something that keeps the lights on, is that has been a real interesting challenge all this time. That I've been in business since 1990.
Yeah.
And you know,
I love the transparency there, right? The transparency there. And I think you're spot on. I think a lot of us don't want it to be about the money, especially if we're in the transformation space. And so being willing to look at those things and, you know, CEO mindset versus or founder mindset, whatever that is, like, I want this business. And that's why I love to connect calling to prosperity. Because there's a level of ownership, there's a level of self-expression, and that just enough to get by raised my debt to the point where I had to chop up my credit cards. We were fine. We had just enough, but I was under earning, you know? And so I started
figure that out.
Yeah, that transformation started with like, I don't want just enough to get by. I'm not, you know, I am grateful, but grateful got small for me, right? I want extra. Because if my business is thriving, what does my business need for fuel? Because I want to be in that collective of other entrepreneurs that are raising and expanding. Like we don't know, we can't see what we can't see. And I want to have a team maybe, or I want to have a new website, whatever those things are. And I had to elevate. And that's what Debbie was talking about, that bigger vision, right? Expanded vision. And for me to say, you know, step into like running it like a real business instead of I just want it to be enough. There's many edges of learning things that I didn't know. And I think that shows courage. It shows conviction. But when we commit to that calling, the business is a thriving business is going to reach and serve and touch more lives and more people than we'll ever know. And that's why I
wanted to throw in something, because you mentioned about the calls, and another thing that has always been true, and I've heard various different people, you know, from the stage say things like, oh, you should, you know, not talk to people. There's other ways that they say
you mean like an automated funnel, the magic funnel where people
like the magic funnel
and you never have to talk to them.
Oh, I don't want to keep giving away these free calls. And I'm like, you know, here's the one other thing that's been true all these, you know, however many millions of years I've been in business. Talking to people, you don't outgrow that. Like you don't outgrow, I'm going to talk to somebody who's considering, you know, investing in their business through me. You know, that from my perspective, I mean, yes, you can have salespeople and stuff. Most people actually don't. And so it's either you're doing sales calls or you're not attracting clients.
Selling things.
Right.
I love it.
It doesn't lack, you know, integrity to actually give somebody your time, you know.
It's important. That's why we, you know, over in my world, we sell like we serve. And so even like following up and talking to people conversationally, having conversations, the transformation starts there. So that's a wonderful thing to bring forward in terms of, you know, how, you know, that's presence, right? Talking to people, being a human, listening, that's presence. And it's powerful. And you know, again, with the rapid acceleration and AI can make us all sound like everybody. And we can even make videos that look like us talking, right? Like that transparency and that accessibility is a much raises, you know, the value of our time, right? Is to share that and to be present in those conversations, I think is yet another elixir for all that's going on in our world, right? So Julia, I'm going to put you on the spot and I'm going to reverse our order. You guys have all generously offered some training and gifts and resources in the Profitable Presence Power Pack, which is a collection of resources to help you expand your message, elevate your message, expand your visibility, and create that real profitability. So I would love for you, Julia, to just say, what inspired you to create that gift that you're sharing? Tell us about what it is. And how's it going to help us turn that, visibility into profitability? Maybe share an actionable tip that people will get if they choose to get that gift.
Okay. I'm sharing the Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook, and I've been using this for like 25 years to align myself with what I really want to attract, and to actually start attracting it. And I use this with all of my clients to help them to start even looking at what is perfect for me. What do I really want? And to start with what you want. If you actually start with what you want, then your business is more likely to be what you want. And so the actionable tip is to sit down and have a focus on what it is that you're really drawing in. What are you attracting?
Wonderful.
And for me, it's all about the tribe. It's when you have a tribe of people who are aligned with you on the soul level, then you can have any kind of offer. You can change up your offer, and
Nice.
People will still like you. They still like it. They'll still buy the stuff.
Wonderful. Thank you, Julia. I'm going to share a link.
The playbook and actually sit down and do your attraction plan.
Awesome. I'm going to say that for, there's an amazing collection of resources. I'm going to post the link here under the video, and we're on 3 platforms, you guys. Hi. If you're here, please let us know that you're here. Let us know your takeaways. And I'm going to share a link for you to access those gifts. And then, you can download them all, put them in a folder, and then, set aside time to actually implement. And when you resonate with somebody who's offered you something or gives you that aha, that tuning fork feeling, take the next step with them, right? Don't just like gobble up the gifts, but do them, because that's where the magic happens, right? Transformation through implementation. Thank you, Julia. How about you, Carrie? What inspired you to create the gift? How's it going to help us bridge that gap between visibility and profitability?
Yes. Well, I'm also a sound healer, because sound is so important in helping us come into alignment. So I created the frequency alignment, activation MP3, because I saw how many people were doing all the right things to be visible, but their energy was fragmented, overwhelmed or out of sync with what they truly wanted. So that disconnect was really blocking that flow of aligned opportunities. So this powerful activation, it really helps people come back into energetic coherence, so that their message, their presence, and their soul's frequency are all working together. Because when that happens, your visibility becomes magnetic, because people can really feel that you're operating from your truth. So for me, it's about tuning your energy first, so that you naturally draw in those people, clients, and possibilities that are meant for you. And I have a tip. So before you go outward, tune inward. Like, take even 5 minutes to center your energy and just come back to your truth. Placing your hand on your heart. And, when you do this consistently, your visibility becomes magnetic, and you start attracting everything that, is meant for you, all these beautiful synchronicities, because you're no longer broadcasting from confusion or misalignment.
Love it. So one of the gifts that I've added too is the frequency factor calibration experience. So you can tune in with Carrie's frequency factor and then jump into that and see where are you resonating with the action you're taking in your business, and how aligned up are you, and identify those places that are strongest, not the places that are hardest, but the places that are the most yes, so that you focus on that yes, and that's the energy that you expand, instead of always feeling like you got to try and fix the things that aren't working as well. So beautiful alignment there. And Cindy J is going to jump in here. She was only able to join us briefly, so I'm going to bring her up and she'll catch up as we go, but I'm going to go ahead and move through. Debbie, I know you've got a wonderful resource that you've created. Why'd you create it? How's it going to help us bridge that gap, and share us a little takeaway we're going to get if we do it?
Yeah, well, I'm using AI every day and as a marketing expert, but I will say it's all in how you actually guide it, otherwise you get crap. So this is an AI magnetic decoder for your messaging. And what's unique about this is it's going to focus your messaging. A lot of us have messaging that's all over the place. It's going to pull it in really tight so you can see for yourself, what is my positioned messaging? And it's going to bring in one thing that I think is typically missing. What is unique and different about you?
So good.
Because you have to position yourself within your category. It asks a very specific question. It gives you examples. It pulls it all together. And the really cool thing you get out of that, along with start thinking about what is unique and different about your expertise, your background, your methodology, your energy. It's actually going to give you your ideal client, a positioned message, and it's going to write a post for you. So
nice.
A really great way to pull everything in and get focused so that it allows you to be more you. Because as you're hearing from this group, it's more you, it's more energy. So yeah, have fun with it.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that gift, Debbie. Cindy J, I'm going to catch up with you. Welcome. I'm so glad that you're here to step in. We've been asking questions and talking about what does profitable presence mean to you. And so I'm going to circle back with you. And I know you're the visibility whiz, so I'm sure you'll have lots to contribute. So Sonia, tell us about why you created this gift and what it's going to help us do.
So just like everybody's been saying here, we can get so caught up in outside world, and it's really about this internal message. So what I created was a 6-minute, 7-minute meditation. It's just under 7-minute meditation that helps you reset from the outside world, get internal and reset and activate your wealth consciousness within so that you can step out and be more profitable. Pretty much
nice.
like that.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much. And Mark, I know that we have you for a few more minutes, so I'm glad that we get to hear about what you've created for us and why you're sharing it, how it's going to help us bridge that gap.
Sure. Well, the gift that I have is called the JV Gift Bundle, and it's kind of 3 gifts in one. The reason we created it is because I do believe that I have a connection that can help solve any problem that I have in my business. Wonderful. So we've actually put that together in the JV directory to help people find partners, primarily platforms to speak on or providers of different services. We have a JV networking event that I'm going into right now for the next 3 hours. We do it twice a month. We have over 100 coaches, authors, speakers, healers every 2 weeks that come to this event. And so you get a free pass to that event, as well as to an upcoming training about how to use conscious collaborations to get more visibility and more impact in your business.
Wonderful. So if you're watching and you're not sure exactly what a JV is, it's a joint venture partnership. That's how I met Mark 10 years ago. And it is an incredibly potent possibility for you to reach and serve people through relation, through that connection. He is the soul connector, right? So that's I think even more and more in these days that connection and the real relationship building. You don't need to have 500 partners, and it doesn't have to be this big opt-in here game, but real connection and collaboration. Creativity thrives in collaboration. Where 2 or more are gathered, there am I. And so that's a wonderful gift.
And I have a tip for that too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, let's hear it. Love tips.
So we were talking before a lot about, Julia was talking about measuring what's on your website. There's lots of different things in our business to measure. And like you said, we're
Numbers
not focused on
are the
money.
language of entrepreneurs.
Yeah. Well, my dear friend Nancy Jutton says that what is measured is treasured. And so the same thing with I'm going to talk about contacts with your relationships and how do we measure our relationships. One thing I recommend is to have a contact sheet, just a spreadsheet, whatever kind of spreadsheet you have that measures all of your clients, all of your partners, and all of your mentors, coaches, the people that you're hiring to do different services. And then when you're talking to people in networking, be very, very clear. We talked a lot about this. This is Debbie's specialty, is being really clear on who is your audience, what is the problem that you solve. Being really, really clear on that helps not only to attract clients, but to attract partners. Yeah. And then second of all is knowing what is it that you want from partners. Are you looking to get on stages? Are you looking for cross promotion? Being very clear on your ask, working your ask muscles really is a challenge for a lot of heart-centered people. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is to know how you can reciprocate. The law of reciprocity, of saying, here's what I can do for you. And really starting off with that mindset of like knowing, and mine is usually connections of like, oh, here's the person I can connect you with. But whatever your golden hammer is of knowing how you can serve your partners, those are the three things to really build relationship capital.
Beautiful. I love that. Thanks, you guys. Mark, I know you may have to hop off right away, but I want to say welcome, Cindy J. Thank you for hopping in here. It's great to have you with us, and I know we are all very busy people, and so I'd love for you to just jump in and share, Cindy, on what is profitable presence for you right now. How has that evolved for you this year? And then tell us a little bit about the gift you've contributed.
Before I answer that question, I want to do a shout out for Mark's gift. JV partnerships will definitely change your entire business.
Yes.
Regardless, whether you're beginning or how long you've been in business,
Yes.
There's so many ways to create JV partnerships. So I just want to do a shout out for Mark's gift. So if you haven't got it, you definitely want to grab it.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Leading with
I
heart.
also met Mark and Michelle and Julia years ago through JV marketing.
Exactly.
So there's 4 of us that's been around for at least 10 years doing
We've known
this.
each other, yeah, and connected and shared. Yeah, it's powerful.
Okay, so I just
So
want to
welcome. I'm glad you're at the party. Thanks for coming
Okay.
to the Profitable Presence Party panel.
So I love the powerful presence, and I know that that's your tagline. Whereas with me, I always talk about creating a fun and profitable business. Because so many people, they go out there and they're all about the money. They're spiritual too. So there's 2 sides of the coin. They're either way too spiritual or they're way too money focused. And so it's finding that center where you're helping people and you're doing something that you really enjoy doing it. You're not doing it just because somebody told you to do it. As the visibility whiz, I've heard so much, well, I know I have to be on Facebook, but I hate Facebook. If you hate doing something, you're not going to be profitable doing it in your business.
Beautiful.
So this year I've went a little bit, it still has to do with visibility, but I definitely want to help people create fun and profitable businesses. Because if you're not having fun, then you're just might as well stay at a job that you hate.
Yeah. How many times have we heard, I don't want to work this hard for these results anymore, right?
Exactly. And whenever you're having fun, it's a fun way to live. And whenever it's profitable and sustains whatever you want your lifestyle to be. For some people for some people that's $2,000 a month. For other people, it's a multi-7-figure business. So you don't think profitable means an X amount. Profitable is definitely very individualized because we have
for yourself, right?
Yes, we have a lot of people 60 plus, even 50 plus going into business right now. A lot of them because they want to make an impact more than they want to make a lot of money. So if they're making a few extra $1,000 a month, they're perfectly happy because they can sustain whatever lifestyle they want. Whereas other people, they want to leave a legacy. I believe Mark wants to leave a legacy for his children. And so you have different areas,
motivators,
wherever you are, and it's fine. So, with me, all about presence, but it all starts with an email list. So many people don't think they need an email list to build a business, or they toy around with email lists and never really do anything with it. They will have people subscribe, then they ghost them. And that's all about being present. It's all about being visible. Too many people say, I want to be visible. No, I don't. I want to be visible. No, I don't.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot about how alignment and doing that inner tuning can be very, very powerful. So I want to wrap up. If Mark, if you have a second before you hop off, I know I'd love for each of you to just share, like, how do you decide? It's a quick takeaway here. How do you decide when, where to be visible? One quick tip. How do you decide when, where, how you're going to be visible? Mark?
I'm going to say alignment. It's the keyword of the day. If it feels aligned. It is nice to know the metrics. So if you're looking at something like a podcast or other events, do your due diligence to ask, well, who is the audience and how many people are you expecting there and all of those other things. But bottom line, trust your intuition.
Love it. Sonia?
I would say it's commitment. You make an agreement, you show up to those agreements, whether that is first the agreement with yourself, then the agreement with those that you've made that agreement with.
I love it.
Commitment and follow through.
Love it. Debbie?
Show up where your people are and be consistent.
Love it. Carrie?
Where does your energy feel most alive?
Love it. Julia?
If it feels good, do it.
Yes. Cindy?
I would go along with Mark. Alignment. It has to align with your core message. You have to be in front of your target audience, because if your target market is single moms and you're speaking in front of a million senior citizens, you're not going to get anywhere.
I love it. Going back to alignment to find who do you want to talk to and how do you relate? I love it. Thanks you guys so much for being here. This has been the Profitable Presence Power Pack panel. I have posted a link. I believe it's posted already on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, YouTube. I'll come back if you've been watching on another platform and share a way for you to access these gifts. You can find these brilliant people on their social platforms as well and learn from them. And I think we have 24 contributors to this giveaway, all established, aligned, guided, and successful entrepreneurs to help you go from wherever you are in your relationship to being highly visible to growing the business that you want your way. And I thank you guys so much for being here. And we'll see you on the next Give Voice to Your Vision.
Bye.